Hi, this is Jerry with ilovervlife. We are continuing our search for portable power generators, and today we are really going to do a good workout with this new, it's called an Opez 1100. This baby's heavy duty. I can't wait to show you how this thing works. Hi, this is Jerry. I am really excited about trying out this Opez 1100 power station. And this is actually a full kit that was sent to us by Opez to evaluate. So we did not purchase this. This was sent to us for evaluation. And I'll share with you why Joan and I were interested in doing another power station at this stage. We just finished a 500 watt unit just a few weeks ago and showed you a video for that. But there was something different about this one that we saw that 500 watts, yeah, sure, it might help us in some moderate needs, but we really wanted a little bit more power. And I think this Opez 1100 power station gives us that extra power that we're looking for. Before I start showing this, again, this I think will help clarify why we wanted this type of power station to be able to use in our travel. We have a residential refrigerator. There it is. You can see it right over there. That is an LG compressor inverter residential style refrigerator. It is 14.7 cubic feet. It is a standard. Here, let me just kind of show you the size of it. And I have a video that I'll put in the description below of where Joel and I replaced the old residential refrigerator with this one. Now, I'll show you how this currently works when we go outside to do a refrigerator test, and I'll leave that explanation when we go there. But bottom line is, we have a number of golf cart batteries, and we have a pure sine wave inverter. And that setup will allow us to run the refrigerator, the lights, run the slides in and out, those types of things. Depending on how much lighting we use, water pump, etc., we can get 40 to 60 hours out of our golf cart batteries. These are not lithium cells. We travel a lot of times into very cold climates, so we're still using typical lead acid batteries, so we don't have to worry about them freezing and not being able to charge. So that's what we use today. But the problem is, and this is why we're considering a power station, if we pull over for the night, or if we even stop for lunch, we have no way to be able to run any type of AC powered device. So a power station is very, very important for us. I'll show you this unit here. This is the Opez 1100. This is the power station. It's heavy. It's about 25 pounds roughly, about 25 pounds. But I'll show you some details about it in just a minute. This thing has, surge capabilities. It really looks to be like a nice all-around unit that we can use to supplement some of our needs. So before I go any further, let me put up a couple graphics and just show you exactly how this unit is configured and then I'll talk about a little bit more how we plan to use it. And we're going to put this through a series of practical tests. So here's a few charts. I'll show you a close-up of this unit just from a picture standpoint. It has 3 AC outlets. These outlets are 110 volts, and they're reported to run a rated power of 1100 AC watts. And this is what we're going to try here in a little bit. It says that it has a surge power of 3600 watts. We'll see. I really like this LCD display. It gives you both a wattage input if you're charging, like from one of the adapters that I'll show you here in just a few minutes. It'll show you your output, percentage of charge that you have left, and then how many hours before this thing either gives out a power or how long it's going to take to be able to charge it. It has a number of DC outputs. You've got your standard, some people call them car outputs. It's a 12 volt, 10 amp. That's pretty heavy duty. And then we've got a number of USB style ports. We've got USB-Cs. We've got 2 of those that are reported at 60 watts. And then we have 2 USB-A quick charge, 3.0 quick charge. And then you'll notice here there's one called input. Now the input is kind of interesting. There's 3 different types of charging that you can use for this. One is one of these as you're traveling down the road. This is that 12 volt accessory style that you see on the dash of your truck or your car or whatever else, and this plugs right into the front of the unit, and you can charge that way. It's reported that it'll take, I don't know, roughly 6 to 8 hours, and I guess that really depends on your alternator, how much power you've got coming out of that 12 volt accessory adapter. The other item that you can use is this power brick. This power brick is rated at 24 volts and I think 8 amps. And I've charged this unit up. I completely discharged it before we did any testing. I let it run completely down. It came with about 60% capacity out of the box, and I drained it. And then I wanted to charge it back up so we could have a full charge. And it took about 6-7 hours to charge. And then we are going to do some more testing, run it down. We're going to charge it back and just see how it works again. So it's a big heavy brick. It comes with the unit. And then lastly, you'll see behind me here, we have 2 portable solar panels. These are 100-watt solar panels, 12-volt solar panels, and you tie them together with a supplied parallel cable. So you can take, your 2 solar panels, and then you can plug it right into the front of the unit. Now, let's stop here. I'm not going to be able to do a full solar test, unfortunately, and I'm going to show that in a follow-up in about 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to be going down to Florida. We're going to have some bright sun, and then I'm going to actually hook this up into some bright sun, and I want to make sure that these panels really produce what they say they're going to produce. So I really want to give them a good opportunity to be able to do that. Why can't I do it now? Well, it's the end of December here in middle Georgia. It has been raining for 3 days. It's going to rain for about another 2 or 3 days. And I want to get the video out and show you how this is working. So we'll follow back up with a solar panel test in just a couple weeks. And then we'll have used this just a little bit. We'll kind of give you a further update on that. So let's go outside and let me at least show you how the solar panels can be set up and how they're hooked up to the unit. So in the configuration that's actually set up here, you can see how we've got them put together. They come together with this parallel cable. So let's go ahead and plug it in. Here's your input. The clouds are going in and out. It's just going to be awful. I know that these panels will perform better. I just don't know when I am going to get better sun out to be able to do this and get the video out in time. It's going to be a week. It's going to rain for like 5 days, and but it's such an interesting setup. It just takes minutes to be able to put this together. It's a bit of an unfair test. If the sun pops out again, I'll give this another shot. Okay, let's try the first test. The first test is going to be that fella right there, and that's going to be the LG residential, almost 15 cubic foot refrigerator. It's reported from what we have, from a specification standpoint, it takes about 50 watts. You got it, 50 watts, less than a 100-watt light bulb, half of what a 100-watt light bulb to run that refrigerator. It's incredible. It's incredible. And this is not a DC. This is an AC powered, we call them a Euro style refrigerator. And I'm actually going to use something called a kilowatt meter that I'm going to validate how the unit is actually performing. And I'm going to hook this up, and we are going to run the refrigerator until the Opez power station just gives it up. We're hoping that we can get, 12, 15 hours is kind of an expectation. If it does anything better than that, I'm really going to be surprised. So this is going to take a day. It's mid-afternoon now, and we're going to plug this guy in, and then we're just going to let it run all day, all night. We'll check it tomorrow and see when it gives up the ghost, and we'll see how this thing is going to run. So we'll do maybe a mid-test here in the middle. So let's take it outside. I'll show you how we're going to do the setup, and then we'll kind of give you the results tomorrow when we get through doing this. Let's look how this unit is set up that we have here. Here's the battery box that I have inside this unit. I've got golf cart batteries here. I have a Magnum pure sine wave inverter that's used as we travel down the road, or if we don't have any power. We can only get about 50-ish, 60 hours of capacity, something like that. And it really depends on, you know, how many other 12-volt devices we're using, you know, pumps, those types of things. I have a transfer switch that you will notice right here, and this transfer switch plugs into the back of this sine wave. Now what I have done is taken this and unplugged it. I've also killed the power to the RV, so there's no power coming into it at all. And all I've done is just taken this is a good high quality 10 gauge extension cord, and I've plugged it into the unit here. So we're going to go ahead and power this unit up. And now you have to turn the inverter on, and we'll hold that down for a second and give a chance for the inverter to come on. So I see that it is on now. Right here, you can barely make it out. There's a little indicator that says AC. You can see this twirling. It's saying that we're currently pulling 179 watts. That was for the refrigerator to cut on for the first few seconds. And now it is turned off. You can see on the kilowatt meter, that's the voltage. It's pulling almost 111. It's pulling 0.4 amps, and it is pulling 3 to 6 watts on idle. So hardly anything at all coming out of it. I'm going to go open the door up. You can see here. I'm going to go open the door up, and just so we can see this bump a little bit. This is saying, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering about the reading here. This is saying roughly 4 watts of output and 5 watts of output, and this is showing I would say about another 80% more. So I kind of trust the kilowatt meter just a little bit more than I do this. So let's go open up the door and at least get the light on inside and see this jump a bit. I've opened the door to the refrigerator. The unit is saying 24 watts. The kilowatt meter roughly about 28 watts. So there's a little bit of disparity. Now at this current run rate, it's saying 20 hours. So it says that we can run the refrigerator for 20 hours. And we'll check on it again in probably about 6 or 8. It will be dark when we check on it the next time. And then we'll check it again tomorrow morning, probably in the rain, and see how this unit is going to go. So let's see what's going to happen here. It's a little dark. The dogs are barking next door. But the compressor is running on the refrigerator now, so actually seeing a little bit more of a draw than what we have been seeing, about 41 watts. And of course, again, I'm seeing a little disparity between the two. That's showing 35, so it's about a 5-6 watt difference between the kilowatt and that. That's not too troublesome. We're at about 68%, seeing that we have 11 hours left. We'll see. So we've got 8 hours into the refrigerator running. So we'll come out in the morning, see where we're at, and give this thing, see if it's going to last more than another 11 hours. So it's kind of impressive. And this is with no other charging, no solar running today, nothing. Just what you gonna do. All right, pretty impressive. All right, I've been checking on it. It was down to 9%, and the compressor cut on just a minute ago, and that was the end of it. You can see there we're down to 0 now. And we have run out of gas. 23.5 hours is what we got out of it. That is not bad for a residential refrigerator. 23.5 hours. Okay, we're dead. We're going to plug it up, let it charge up. We've got a few more tests that we're going to run. It's going to be kind of like the practical use of this OUPES 1100. First test, I'm incredibly impressed. That's pretty amazing. 23.5 hours. A residential refrigerator. Amazing. Day 2. Well, I'm quite surprised. I didn't think we'd ever get 23.5 hours of use out of this OUPES 1100 power station, and at the same time run that guy right there, a residential AC refrigerator, a 14, almost 15 cubic foot refrigerator, you know, for a full 24 and almost 24 hours, 23 and a half hours. Now, here would have been interesting if we would have had bright sunny days. I would have loved to have been able to hook up the solar panels and, you know, plug those into the unit and just tested those as well in bright sunlight to see if we could have gotten some extra capacity out of it. And, well, I know we could have, but I don't know how much more, and would it be enough to use day after day? I don't think that's our application, but I think for those who have that application and are portable and moving, you know, using a small van, or you're doing you know, a small pull behind camper or something like that, and you just don't have enough battery capacity to be able to run an inverter, and you're wanting an economical solution, boom, I think this thing is going to work out very, very well for those types of applications. I think it's also going to work out well for Joan and I as well. Okay, so let's charge this unit up. It's going to take about 6 to 8 hours, and it'll be day 3 when I come back to see how we can put this thing through some additional testing. All right, let's hook it up and see what we've got going. Okay, it is day 3. We have had this charging overnight, and I think we're where we need to be. It says it's currently at 100%. You see the 181 watts coming from the 24-volt charger. That's the 24-volt charger right there. And it says we have 1 minute left, and that's probably just the way this BMS system reports. So we're at 100% capacity. Let's have some fun with this and try some other types of appliances inside the fifth wheel and see how it's going to work. Okay, we're over here at the coffee bar, and we're going to pretend that it is breakfast time at ilovervlife's fifth wheel. You see that we're currently operating at 100% capacity, and what we're going to do is I'm going to try to make me a bagel. So we're going to see how this is going to work. Now, to turn on the inverter, there's a button here you hold for 3 seconds. And if you can see in a close-up here, you'll see the little AC light has come on, and there's a little twirl here showing the fan is operating. And we are going to, we're looking here at the output. The output shows 111 volts. We're going to put this on wattage. There's no watts being drawn. And let's make us a bagel. Turn that on. There we go. We got a bagel going. And she kicks off. We hear the fan working hard. The unit here, we're seeing, again, just like we saw with the refrigerator, we're seeing just a slight disparity between the two. 639 watts being reported here, and the kilowatt is showing 653. I'm not going to worry about that. And it says that this will only work for 1 hour. Yeah, you know, I'm making a bagel. And it's only going to take probably, what, 3 or 4 minutes for my bagel to be able to work. So that works. So we'll let that go ahead and finish up, and the bagel finish. We'll shorten that duration just a little bit. I don't like my bagels too toasty. One of the things that I'm noticing here, I see no temperature alarms here. I see no overload protection, and I wouldn't expect it since this has a 1100 watt capability with a 3000 watt surge. So we'll see how that continues to go. All right, bagel's done. And you'll notice some things change here. I only use 2% of the capacity for my bagel. And notice the hours have changed as well. And I don't know if you can pick it up in the mic, but the fan went from running high to just barely running. So, all right. So that was test number 1. We can make bagels. Jerry is very happy about making bagels. Now, this one, we may be pushing it to the limit on this. This is a Keurig, you know, your old standard Keurig coffee maker. We're going to try to make a cup of coffee with this thing. So I'm going to set the camera down for a second and hook it up. Okay, we're going to operate this just like we would in the morning. This is rated at 1350 according to the paperwork. We'll see what's going to happen. I got a feeling the unit may be a little unhappy. Well, I'm not seeing 1350. Now, we're doing this from a straight up startup. So we're having to heat the water. Again, this unit is rated at 1100 watts ongoing capacity and with a 3000 watt surge. So I am pushing it, as you'll notice here from the internal rating, 65 watts over its recommended power. And as I expected, it got really unhappy. It didn't handle the surge. I felt like that was going to happen. And it has shut off because I have run too much power. So on this test, it's no failure on the part. It's a failure on my part, but it is not going to run a Keurig coffee maker. Well, I have another coffee maker. This is Jones. Let's see if mine will work. At least maybe I can get a cup of coffee out of this thing. Well, if it's morning and it's coffee time at the ilovervlife coffee bar, you're going to see Jones Keurig. Sorry, honey, it's not going to work with this. And then this is my Black & Decker Brew and Go. It doesn't matter where I'm at. This Brew and Go goes with me everywhere I go. I think it makes the absolute best cup of coffee in the world. I am crossing my fingers it works. I have no idea what the wattage needs of this is. You put you a little bit of water here. Joan got some Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. So we're going to try. Oh, I hope this works. And we'll see here in just a minute. I've got it hooked up to the kilowatt meter. And we are going to see if we can push this thing to the limit. Come on, Opez 1100. Make me a cup of coffee, okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to turn the inverter on. And where does he jump? It's running, fan's running. Flip the little switch. Red light. Here we go. Come on, baby. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. 673 watts. Probably going to be a little higher here. 687 watts. Home run. Jerry's going to get him some Blue Mountain coffee. Yay! So, no fault again of the Opez 1100. The Keurig just draws too much wattage. Just way too much wattage. Again, it shows a 1350 on the chart. We got it up to what, a little over 1150, 1160. I got a feeling the overload protection, it could have handled the surge, but it's just not going to run the heater. Looks like our little toaster. That is a cheap $10 toaster. I think we got it at a dollar store, and we've been using that thing for a long time. 600 and something watts. We could probably find something a little bit more efficient. And then if you're looking for something that runs AC power, this Black & Decker Brew and Go, aside from making a most awesome cup of coffee, fits what I'll call relatively low wattage. We're still running, what, 669 on the chart here, and 683. And you see the steam arising. Look at you. Little Opez, you're just rocking and rolling, aren't you? Pretty impressed with that. Pretty impressed. Okay, we're going to let my coffee finish up, and then we're going to try the microwave. I don't have high expectations on that, but who knows? This thing may surprise me. Let's see if we can't push the limits a little further. All right, we're finishing up. Now the display turns itself off. Again, a power saving mode. And boom, you can see the coffee pot turned off. And It still says we have 32, 33 hours of capacity with nothing on it. Of course we do. Steam is still arising. Jerry is going to have him a most awesome cup of Blue Mountain coffee. And I don't know if you can hear this or not. It's relatively quiet. The fan just went from high, cooled the unit off, and turned itself back off to a very low usage. All right, let's push the limit here. I'm going to get an extension cord, and we're gonna try to see if we can make this work. Again, I think we'll be pushing this to the limit, but we'll give it a shot. All right, for the next test, I just temporarily, I just ran an extension cord out of where I hooked up. This is a good, a 10 gauge heavy duty cord. And I'm just putting a cup of water in here. I'm going to try for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I don't think there's any need to go more than that. If we're going to warm up food, it's going to be 2, 3, 4 minutes, something like that. And I'm going to actually try this at 2 different power levels. I just really think that running this thing at 100% is going to make this thing not work. Could I run it maybe at half power level or something like that and still see if it would work? I think I've got a chance on it, but we're going to give it a shot. Again, here we go. Here's the power meter. Now you're going to see on here there's what I call vampire usage, and bottom line, it's taking 6 watts to run the clock. Amazing. So here we go. I'm going to go full power, and we'll see what's going to happen for 2 minutes. And up she goes, climbing, 11. Oh, interesting. I bet we go, no, under 11. It's trying. This is saying 11:45. We haven't gone into overload protection as of yet. Amazing. I really think we're right at the top limit of this unit. Again, this is rated at 1100 watts. I'll be doggone. This thing is running full power, a microwave, and it went into overload. I knew it was going to do that. All right, we're going to let this cool off, and we're going to try this test again at, say, 70% capacity. So let's let her cool off. In my last test, I had the light up underneath turned on. Shame on me, I shouldn't have done that. That took a little extra power. It might have actually run. So this time I'm going to run it at 70% capacity. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the inverter. And you'll see a difference. It wasn't the clock that was pulling the power a minute ago. It was the light bulb. That's my mistake. I shouldn't have done that. All right, so we're going to do, again, we've got the cup of water in here. This time I'm going to set the power level for, let's cancel. We're going to set the cook time for 2 minutes and a power level of 70% and start it. And just see how she runs now. And it looked like there is no difference whether you're running 70% right at 1100, and I know this is going to go into thermal overload. I got a feeling this is not going to work. And I think what it's going to do is cycle back and forth. It's exactly what it's going to do. So the way this one works at 70%, it's going to run for a few seconds at high power, and then it's going to stop. And maybe that'll be enough to keep this thing from going into overload protection. We'll see. I don't know. And it stops again. Interesting. This might be the secret sauce, Jerry. So we're seeing here 110 volts. We'll put the wattage on it. And I don't know if you can quite make it out. It's saying right at 1118. It's actually kind of matching. This is around 11 something. So without being so greedy here and running this thing full power and not being a dummy on my end and turning on the light, which saves us about another 20 to 22 watts. It's taking 30 watts just for the carousel to continue to run. While we're, pulled over to rest stop, we can warm some food up. So instead of it, say, taking 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Now this is the power saving mode. That panel turns itself off. So instead of being greedy here and running at 100 watts, by golly, I think we can run this thing at 70% with no trouble. 2 seconds. Look at that. No kidding, Jerry. Is that amazing? So, you know, we got a hot cup of water, so we could use something like a, you know, one of your lean cuisines, or, you know, those types of meals, or, you know, something like that. I hear the unit is spinning down, and so making bagels, making a cup of coffee, running a 1100 watt microwave at 70%. We've used 87% capacity. So I will say success on a kitchen test. How about that? Good for you, little Opez. Not a bad job. Let's try a few other things. I want to step into the bedroom for a second. I'm doing this really for display purposes of, you know, if Joan and I, you know, have pulled over from the evening, we just want to, you know, before we go to bed that night, we want to just catch a little TV. I have my Wi-Fi system that we use for, you know, viewing internet and those types of things hooked up to our battery system. So I don't have to, you know, I can always have power running on that. And I would not set this unit here. So if you're going to make that comment, I've got plenty of room down in the floor that I would, you know, set it right there. And I've got plenty of room on the extension cord that I could do this, but we can watch TV. I think we can watch TV without any trouble. And let's just go ahead and turn the power on here. And this unit has a number of things. It's got a built-in DVD player and things like that, but we use the Roku. So this right now is powering both the TV and the Roku here, and it's only taking, what do we see here? 28 watts according to this. 38 watts according, it's going to be kind of hard to read, 38 watts according to the kilowatt meter. I am going to follow back up with Opez and just say, why is the difference between these two? Because I think that is a significant, that's a, you know, almost a, not quite a 50% disparity. In the low wattages and the higher wattage, it's not quite the same. So, you know, if I wanted to just watch regular antenna TV, and didn't want to bother draining, you know, the 12 volt, I can do this. There we go. Regular TV, are you going to come on? There we go. There's regular TV. Let me turn that down. So we got regular TV. Again, we're only pulling about 28 watts according to this, but really true AC watts, we're pulling about 38 watts. I think what's actually happening here is we have different points of measurement. This will be your actual wattage that's being pulled out by the unit, and this is, I don't know where this measurement's coming from, but I am going to ask him about that. Again, I'm not too overly worried about it. And it says we can run this thing for 15 hours, which we wouldn't do. You know, we'd watch TV for just a couple hours. From the bedroom, how about that? I'm quite pleased with that as well. And notice this 15 hours of capacity left is after making coffee and bagel and running the microwave and those types of things. So this is not from a full charge. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. All right. Again, I want to stress this as well. Before we'd go to bed at night, we could, you know, charge up our phones, charge up our laptops through these devices. We can use that. I do want to show you one other thing here that I like a lot before we would go to bed. I'm going to go ahead and turn the TV off. And I want to show you one other thing that I think will work fantastic here. Now, do notice we've got our hurricane fan here, but this is an AC powered fan. And I will show you two differences here, that how much power this will pull compared to another option that I want to share with you. So let's turn the TV off. Now, if we did want to run our nice big hurricane here at night, we could do that. Again, let's see what we normally run it on low. Let's see how much power it's going to take. And I think this is an option. It's running, according to this, 27 watts, 37 from the front. Moves a ton of air. 15 hours. Look, that would get us, again, we're not going to use it for 15 hours. We're going to use it probably for about 7 or 8, while we sleep at night after we pulled over. And we could use that as an option for, some comfort while we're in here. And that thing is absolutely awesome. It does a great job. If you're looking for a fan in your bedroom, you can't put a ceiling fan in here. That works fantastic. All right, so 27 watt output. I've got one other option I want to try. Well, here's the other option I wanted to show you. This is an endless breeze. This was made by Fantastic Vents, the Fantastic Fan folks. I don't even know if you can buy this unit anymore. We've had this thing for a long time and use it like crazy. Downside, it's noisy, but does it move some air? So this is an option. Again, I would set this in the floor. We got plenty of cord here, or we could move it around, if we wanted to use it down there, while we eat. That would give us an option as well. But I'll go ahead and turn this on where you can see it. But what I think is interesting is I'm going to turn the inverter off. So we're no longer using the inverter. That will save us a lot of power. If you notice, the power demand goes to 99 when it's not being used. We're at 86 capacity. How would a 12-volt van? Now, I do have another one that we have tried that you can go to ilovervlife.com, go to our accessories page, and there's another unit almost identical to this. It is not made by Fantastic Fan, but it's a 12-volt fan as well. And we'll put this guy on. Let's see, I've got to turn on the power here. And now the interesting thing here, when we compared it to the previous unit, notice this. That's a low setting, and he's really, I'm going to turn this guy around here. There's the air output. So I had him backwards. We could have that running. That is the low setting. What I want you to notice here, when you're using a DC connection compared to an inverter connection, for the same amount of wattage, it's substantially less. Sometimes, depending on the inverter they use, it can be a 1.5 to as much as 3 times capacity burn, depending on the inverter, of what your conversion would be as far as how many hours you could run it. If you notice, we could run this unit here for 44 hours compared to 1/3 of the time, again, because we're only using DC and we're not having to handle all the overhead here to convert this into AC. And that's quite amazing. We can turn it up. There's the medium setting, 28. Only 26 watts, and I'll put this thing on max. There's wide open, and like I said, it's loud. But no way would we ever sleep with something like that. 36, 37 watts, 38 watts, and then 20 hours left. I'll go ahead and share this with you when we're sitting around with it running, and it is. I've got a wind muff on this, so you shouldn't be able to hear too much. That is producing plenty of air for us to be able to sleep at night. It'd be very comfortable, and would run for more hours than what we need. Isn't that something? We could get up the next morning. I'd have enough capacity for my bagel and my coffee if we were starting at 100%. So it'd be pretty good. We could even watch some TV as well. Hey, I tell you what, let's do. Let's hook the TV up at the same time and see what that will do. Well, let's see what happens. If we were going to sit here in the evening, I've got our little DC fan sitting over here running, moving some air. I'd probably actually throw the window open and get some fresh air from the outside. And I don't have the TV on. I've got it hooked up. We'll turn the TV on and see what's going to happen. So we could probably sit here in the evening. And there you go. Boom. We'll get the midday news here. That's off and going. You can see the midday news. You can see we're running 110 volts. There's the wattage, 37 watts. And the total output that we're using right now is 48 total watts out of this unit. So it says running a 12 volt fan and running a TV. Again, this would not be sitting here. I'd put this on the floor, so I know I'm going to get a comment on that. But again, look at this. We'd watch this for a couple hours. We would then, turn the TV off and watch what happens here from an hour capacity standpoint. 17, 8, 19, 20. You going to go any more? 20. So we would go to, we turn the inverter off. That'll give us another boost. We turn that off. No longer running the inverter, doing the power conversion. So it actually, just with the inverter on, it consumes a substantial amount of power. We've now gone to 35 watts. So if you're using this just from a DC standpoint, running laptops, charging laptops, if you've got that, charging your tablet devices, your phones, running any type of a device that would go from 12 volts. I think I need to find me a 12 volt coffee maker. Then you have a very, very, very substantial difference. And I'm still running my little fan over there. How about that? Wow, I'm enjoying this cup of Blue Mountain coffee I made a few minutes ago. Still pretty impressed with this unit. Look, it's it's got a little weight to it, but looking at next to me, carry-on handle. I didn't even show you it has a light on back that you can turn on if you're out in an environment, not in a doing the glamping that Joan and I do. You're in something that a pop-up or a camper van or something like that, and you need some auxiliary lighting, and it is bright. If I turn the lights down, it lights up the whole place. It's really something. Super, super nice unit. Oh my gosh, I think this is going to be just an absolute huge, huge benefit for us, and I am impressed with its operation. All right. How can you get it? Well, I'm going to provide 2 Amazon links if you want the total package, which is the unit and the 2 100-watt solar panels. That is a package with some discount right now as of today, which is in the 4th week of December 2021. Or you can just buy the power station, and it comes with the brick, and it comes with the 12-volt accessory charging as well. So you get that as part of this unit as we speak. So if you just want to use the 1100-watt Opez generator, and they call it a 992-watt unit, currently it's $699, and I find that to be an absolute bargain to have a total self-contained, almost 1,000 watt-hour capacity unit with 3 outputs, AC inverter, charge controller, overload protection, 12-volt outputs, very informative screen. It's really a nice unit. And then if you want the total kit, which they refer to as the portable power station with the two panels, it's currently $12.99. As of today, this 4th week of December 2021, I want to stress that, there is a $200 coupon that gets it down to $1,099 for both 2 solar panels and the generator as well. Go down into the description of this video. I'll have links for you there to where you can go to the Amazon affiliate links that we use, help support the channel. Or go out to ilovervlife.com. What will you find at ilovervlife.com? Travel tips, campgrounds, fun places to go. I mean, Joan and I, when we're on the road, we have a good time. And you can go to the RV accessories menu and you will see categories of products that we use. We do not put products. This is not an Amazon store. I build this page, and these are all the products that we use for our RV travel. And you will find this generator with its links to Amazon. You will find, the kit with the total solar panels that are on there. You'll find the fans that we were using today. You'll find my little coffee pot, my Brew and Go, that I just think makes the absolute best cup of coffee in the world. Yes, it does. It really does. Just one more. So again, we hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you, Opez, the company, for sending us this unit to evaluate. Thoroughly impressed, thoroughly impressed. We're going to be using this over the next couple weeks. Stay tuned 2-ish, 3-ish weeks. Give me time to find some, a couple sunny days, and we're going to put this again through a second test using the solar panels, hooking it up to the refrigerator and just seeing how it runs with solar panels in the fridge. I think that's going to be something to see how that works, and we'll have that one up in a couple weeks. So we'll have a part 2 to this just on the solar panel operation with the unit. All right. Why do we do this? It's the same reason you watch our channel. It's because I love RV life. See you on the road soon.